From a station working for you, this is WRTV News at 5:30, streaming now.
Welcome in now at 5:30. Many people can use a hand up right now. Still ahead, the offer for help that could keep giving and paying off for a lifetime. And plans announced today for yet another new park in central Indiana where dogs and their best friends can have fun together. Dan.
Topping our lineup today, driving and car insurance claims are still down, but we're not seeing as many rebates. We're looking at why and how you could still get some money back. Office construction is changing as companies consider the long-term impacts of the pandemic. We're getting an inside look at what the workspaces of the future could look like. And teachers typically spend their own money on classroom supplies, but this year they have some unique needs. How you can help with the added costs.
First at 5:30, Notre Dame just canceled in-person classes for 2 weeks starting tomorrow after a spike of coronavirus cases since the start of the semester. Since classes resumed August 10th, Notre Dame has seen a steady increase in positive cases among students, mainly seniors living off campus. As of noon today, 147 people have tested positive among the 927 tested since August 3rd. All but one are students. And local churches are continuing to do their part to help the community during the pandemic, and they are teaming up with other organizations to expand their reach. Today, hundreds of meals were being distributed to those in need at New Corinthian Baptist Church. That's on 56 near Lafayette Road. Representatives from Ivy Tech were also on hand. They were providing information about programs they offer. The community college will also be awarding scholarships to those in need. They have 12 to give to members of the congregation. They're asking a group of pastors to choose the recipients.
Knows the congregation better than we do, and Pastor Webster knows who the right people are that need that boost to take that next step at Ivy Tech and with higher education, and that's most important to us. As a community college, our role is to partner with the community.
A lot of violence in our community and in our city starts with people feeling hopeless, feeling hopeless and abandoned, and that's what we're trying to offer today, along with Ivy Tech, is hope to our community.
The scholarship recipients will be announced next month. And if you're looking for a chance to save a life and learn a little more about the machines that help put food on your table, then Greenfield is the place to be. Tomorrow from 10 until 4, you can give blood at the Koenig John Deere dealership in Greenfield. Because of the nationwide blood shortages, the John Deere dealership thought it would be a good chance for the community to donate blood at a unique location. You can get up close to tractors and heavy equipment, and there will also be safety demonstrations and hands-on driving opportunities. The dealership says they just want to help their community.
For us to have a blood drive here is really exciting for us, and it's just a way to give a gift, if you think about it, that literally touches your heart that goes to the next person's heart. It's a stranger you don't even know. What a wonderful way to help somebody out by donating blood.
The Hancock County Sheriff's Department, Greenfield Fire Department, and Farm Bureau are also helping with this event. Again, it is tomorrow from 10 until 4 at the John Deere dealership in Greenfield. Kevin, that is a gorgeous shot outside. Is that at DePaul University? Very pretty.
You've got it out in Putnam County. Sunshine breaking through after that morning rain. And you mentioned John Deere. You think about farming, and it was a real shot in the farm, if you want to put it that way, instead of shot in the arm. The rainfall today, so I'm sure that's welcome by all of central Indiana farmers. Can't hurt to have that on the corn and soybeans. 1.25 inches in Shelbyville. That's one of the heavier amounts that I've seen. The heavier rain is falling outside of the state lines, now just pushing into northern Kentucky and moving away from central Indiana. Let's talk about our temperatures. The wind is out of the north. That's the change. The humidity is dropping. Temperature 80 in Kokomo. Bloomington lags behind by about 6 degrees, 77 in the metro area. There's a highlight. The next 3 mornings, temperatures will be in the 50s to start the day. We'll stay comfortable during the afternoon. Tomorrow, late morning, 71. Lots of sunshine. Your afternoon high pushes to around 80 with the breeze not as strong as what we've had today. We've had gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour. We'll lay out the next several days. There are subtle changes each day that we can talk about, and we'll do that shortly.
The Postmaster General says today the Postal Service is ready to handle whatever volume of election mail it gets. Louis DeJoy says ahead of the election, retail hours at post offices won't be changing. Mail processing equipment and collection boxes will stay where they are, and no mail processing facilities will be closed. DeJoy plans on testifying Friday before a Senate committee. This will be his first opportunity to publicly answer questions about whether the Trump administration is trying to hinder mail-in voting. He has already agreed to speak before a House committee on Monday. As Americans look to get back to work, Amazon is hiring for new positions in 6 states, 3,500 new jobs in tech and corporate positions. They are posted at amazon.jobs. These aren't telecommute positions. They're within specific cities where Amazon has tech hubs and is adding more office space. Software engineers, data scientists, product managers, and user experience designers. Even if you don't have that skill set, it could be something you learn while working at another job at Amazon. They have a goal to upskill train 100,000 employees by the year 2025 through the Career Choice program.
So we train employees, provide training opportunities for employees for jobs that are available in the local community, that provide an entree to a career that pay more than we do. We pay 95% of the tuition associated with those programs.
People are going to have to honestly look at what their skills and talents are and how they can upshift that into a new industry if necessary.
The founder of career website vcandidates.com says workers can use this downtime to look into their industry for companies that have growth. Also look for any new skills they can pick up through webinars and other free resources. Ms. Bryson admits it's now an employer's market, so it may be worth getting into mid or ground level positions at a company that tends to fast track its employees up the ranks.
I've watched candidates literally unable to move forward about even, it's kind of lackadaisical on what they have to do. They're so panicked about what's going on.
Other than learning new skills or sharpening existing ones, job seekers should clean up their social media and make accounts private. Also update or create a LinkedIn account.
It's like dogs know how to smell fear. We as employers, we can see when someone is not confident, and it's confidence that's really going to win over someone more than anything.
vcandidates.com offers a 9-step online boot camp for hiring. It's free right now because of the pandemic. Another look at our lineup. Driving and car insurance claims are still down, but we're not seeing as many rebates. How you could still get some money back. At the beginning of the pandemic, when lockdowns were in place, we found auto insurance profits were increasing significantly because people were barely driving and getting into fewer accidents. Eventually, some companies started handing out small rebates.
They spent a month advertising how fantastic they were, and then they walked away from the process. Then they just gave up on their customers and pocketed the money.
The amount we're driving is down compared to this time last year. Insurance claims as well. Yet most rebates have dried up. And in some cases, auto insurance is going up even with no changes to driving history. Meanwhile, auto insurers' profits are soaring. 3 of the biggest are reporting huge gains during the second quarter of this year compared to last year. For example, Geico saw profits increase 5-fold. Consumer advocates argue most auto insurance policies are overpriced now because of the pandemic. Most states have laws on insurance profits, but it's up to insurance commissioners to enforce it.
Those laws to protect against excessive profits have kind of been ignored by the insurance companies, and far too few insurance commissioners have done anything about it.
The Consumer Federation of America called on California to investigate Progressive's refund program and require they give back more. In May, they also challenged Geico's Give Back program that required customers to renew in order to get a refund. Some insurance companies have announced ongoing refunds. State Farm announced future rate cuts. Other companies are giving refunds in states where they were pressured to, but not in others.
Giving back the money isn't a request for generosity or charity. It's a request that they don't rip us off.
The Consumer Federation of America suggests people contact their state insurance regulator about auto premiums. You can request a lower rate through your insurance company if you're working from home and driving less. And you should always shop around for a cheaper rate. More on our lineup. Office construction is changing as a result of the pandemic. We're getting an inside look at what the workspaces of the future could look like. Construction companies and businesses know they need to change how they build new office buildings. Amanda Brandeis shows us one company that had to quickly change its blueprints to focus on keeping employees safe from COVID.
We want
wanted a place that was our own.
An office space that shapes culture, where employees want to go.
We've always been flexible. We've always allowed people to work from home if they want to and not. And what we've learned is that people do want a place that is their own that we can come into.
Reed Carr is CEO of the marketing agency Red Door Interactive. After years of leasing an office in downtown San Diego, the company wanted to create its own space to foster collaboration and growth.
We were excited when we found it. We had a vision for how this whole process was going to go down.
The company purchased nearly half an acre of property to create a campus-style workplace.
And then up there is going to be a media studio.
But after the pandemic changed our way of life, the company overhauled the design to ensure it was a space employees not only wanted to go, but could feel safe in.
And I think we're definitely going to see it impact workplaces, homes, marketing, shopping, everything.
The new campus will incorporate touchless features throughout the buildings, like doors and water bottle filling stations. They're creating outdoor meeting spaces with heaters and shade to be used year-round. And inside, they're investing in the best available HVAC systems for air filtration.
I'm learning all this stuff as we go, but we're looking at like hospital-grade type stuff. So, again, the perspective we took is there's always going to be flus and colds and stuff, so why not?
In addition to their own socially distanced workspace, employees will have designated areas separate from visitors, including the kitchen, which will feature accommodations for food prep and hand washing, as well as a new snack station allowing for minimum contact. From the kitchen to conference rooms, the company reinvented each aspect of the campus.
Certain things never change. You want to feel like you belong to something and you want to connect with people.
As some companies consider moving to remote work permanently, Carr says there's value in a workplace designed to support employees. But to make it work, flexibility and resiliency is key.
I mean, this is our home.
In San Diego, I'm Amanda Brandeis reporting.
So far, only 18 states have said they will take federal grants in order to increase unemployment checks. They would go up by $300 to $400 per week. According to the Associated Press, 30 states are still looking at the president's offer or have not said whether they plan to accept the benefits. 2 states have said no.
Zionsville is going to the dogs, or at least creating a space where dogs and their owners can have fun together. The mayor and Parks Board announced plans today for the city's first dog park, which will be located at Heritage Trail Park in Zionsville. It will be approximately 3.5 acres and have separate areas for large and small dogs. As part of future plans for Heritage Trail Park, additional parking will be added as well as a playground for older kids. It's hopes it will be ready to go by the end of the year. Kevin.
From dogs to deer. I'll show you deer here in 1 second. This is the view from the pagoda at the Motor Speedway to downtown Indianapolis. If you could look all the way to Cincinnati, keep looking to the southeast, you'd find some showers and thunderstorms, but we are rain-free now in central Indiana. Had some visitors this morning. We had the rain, of course, maybe a rumble of thunder, and then I had some deer in the yard. But as you look at this picture, okay, it's not the best, but I took it with my phone in the house. You can see the deer. They're alerted to me, but probably more unusual in the yard is my traffic cone. It's a long story why it's there. Someday I'll tell you, but I had a traffic cone in the middle of my yard. Chance for rain is minimal. Saturday and Sunday, it's not 0. 30% chance we'll see a shower or thunderstorm on Sunday. That is race day. Next 3 days, we're spotless. It'll be great. Generally clear nights, lots of sunshine during the afternoon. The fair weather cumulus clouds build during the afternoon, but won't lead to any rain. Temperature has been coolest in southeast Indiana because you haven't had a chance to rebound much from the rain. 82 in Lafayette, 74 in Bloomington. There are your metro area temperatures. And in some cases, we're going to drop some 20 degrees between now and tomorrow morning. We should drop to about 67 by 10 o'clock tonight. During the day tomorrow, let it shine. Sunshine and 80 for the temperature. That's pretty common across all of central Indiana. As we look toward the weekend, there are your weekend temperatures. That comes with a touch more humidity, and we're back to average for high temperatures this time of year. And again, no fans for the race, but a 30% chance for a shower or thunderstorm on Sunday.
COVID cases in nursing homes are growing. According to numbers reported by the COVID Tracking Project, cases in nursing homes in the United States jumped about 80% since the start of summer. Long-term care facilities account for less than 1% of the population in our country, but they account for nearly half of coronavirus deaths. There's a new warning on COVID among young adults. The World Health Organization says it's increasingly concerned they're driving the spread of the virus. That goes for people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. WHO officials say they may not know they're infected and are putting more vulnerable groups at risks. With students starting to arrive back on college campuses, Alicia Nieves shows us the important role student first responders could play in COVID-19 plans.
As college campuses around the country reopen, more than 200 student-run EMS programs are bracing for the inevitable surge in on-campus COVID-19 cases.
I don't think it will fully hit me until, I gear up in the uniform and I'm heading out to that first call.
Hannah Gilbert is co-president of the student-run EMS program at Mcalester College in Minnesota.
Airway are the biggest things we can practice for this.
Mac EMS is preparing for the possible surge in COVID-19 cases, first by increasing service from 2 days a week to 7 days a week this semester.
We need to put the work in so that we're prepared for every situation we can imagine, and then we have to be ready to adapt to the situations we can't imagine.
The school is stockpiling personal protective gear for the student EMTs, while Gilbert is leading refresher courses in providing oxygen, opening airways,
and just give a nice gentle squeeze,
and even responding to cardiac arrest situations, since those are the most troubling symptoms connected with COVID-19.
And it's definitely something that's different, and we don't really see a lot of respiratory emergencies on college campuses.
New COVID-19 related protocols have also been written into the student EMT handbook. The biggest change is when possible, EMTs will now start a call with a virtual screening.
We're actually going to be FaceTiming them or Zooming them or Skyping them from right outside their room.
Student EMTs are being taught a set of questions to ask during the virtual screening.
Do you have a new fever? Any new loss of taste or smell?
The goal is to determine their risk of exposure to COVID-19 and what personal protective gear is needed to provide service safely. But the hope is that all of this training and the preparations aren't as necessary as some experts suggest.
We wish we could be on the front lines of prevention, and we're definitely going to be out there talking about these things, trying to be good role models for our peers. But at the same time, as EMTs, instinctively and intrinsically, we're the ones who show up when there's an emergency. A lot has to go wrong before we get to that place of emergency, so you can't just rely on us.
Student EMTs here and around the country say they need their classmates to adhere to social distancing guidelines and other safety protocols so that they can now help on the front lines without being overwhelmed. I'm Alicia Nieves reporting.
A bridal shop is making dreams come true for medical workers. The Virginia store is giving them wedding dresses for free. Brides came from as far as California and New York to get a gown, many of them donated by designers. The owner says she hopes it gives these frontline workers one less thing to worry about.
We need to be giving them the utmost support and appreciation because they are putting themselves out there. They're the real heroes.
Participants had to go through an application process to be considered. About 600 jumped at the opportunity and 75 were chosen. Finally in our lineup, teachers typically spend their own money on classroom supplies, but this year they have some unique needs. How you can help with the added costs. FedEx is announcing it'll tack on fees to packages it hands off to the Postal Service. This includes fees of up to $2 on any packages shipped through the SmartPost service after Thanksgiving. FedEx also plans on charging as much as $5 for each package shipped through its Express service. This fee would be for large shippers who are sending more packages than normal. People that are in the position to upgrade their ride may find now's the right time. Auto websites Kelley Blue Book and Edmunds both say now is the time to sell or trade in your used car. Dealers are paying more. Trade-in values on average jumped up about $2,000 last month. Do your research first on your car's value so you can be ready to negotiate. A lot of things are changing for schools this year. Some classes may be online and some may be partially on campus. Regardless of where they're taking place, teachers are still spending money on supplies. According to a survey by adoptaclassroom.org, many teachers have spent about a third of their school supply expenses on distance learning materials.
they're actually spending more. 70% of the teachers we surveyed said that they have delivered supplies to students' homes, either by bringing them personally or by mailing assignments with supplies.
Nearly every 3 out of 4 teachers have spent money on printers, ink, and paper to make work packets for students who may not have access to computers and internet. Nearly half have spent money on postage and mailing supplies so they can send learning materials to students. Even in schools where classes are being held in person, Adopt a Classroom still expects teachers to spend more money on supplies.
In a normal elementary classroom, there's a basket of pens and papers and crayons and scissors on a table, and groups of students share those supplies to do projects. They're not going to be able to do that this year.
Through adoptaclassroom.org, people can donate to teachers. Teachers can then use that money to spend in an online marketplace. In addition to traditional supplies, teachers will also be able to buy PPE supplies for in-person learning. RVs were the popular way to vacation this summer as COVID took over. Now some parents are extending their trips. Tomorrow, what parents say sealed the deal on turning their motorhomes into classrooms as they take their children on the road full-time.
Well, if you're still wondering why I had traffic cones in my yard, I have a few of them that I put on top of tree stumps so that we wouldn't hit the tree stump while mowing. 80 with sunshine during the day tomorrow. Temperatures about the same as we move beyond. Thursday temperature of 81 with low humidity. See, I've got those tips for you on mowing your yard. We've got more news for you now. The news starts at 6.